things are just, it's all building. It's building. But I just really wanted one. You can't do that to people. I will say that I think it's cheesy, but I'm eating it up. Hello. So, April was a little bit of a book slump for me. I think it is just because I was so busy with work and life in general, and I had a really strong reading month in March, and honestly February and January too. Like, I started the year so strong, and I think that kind of put me into a little bit of a slump just because I was reading so much, and then with work and stress and everything got a little crazy. So April, I think I read like 2 books, maybe. I don't even know. I have not looked back at the data because I'm just like, we're just gonna move on, pretend it didn't happen. It is now mid-May, and I don't think I finished a book, which is fine. But considering that reading is one of my like favorite hobbies, it's definitely something that I want to spend more time doing. I have like a ton of physical books that I need to read, but I'm just not in the mood for a physical book. You know what I mean? And I had a ton of holds on Libby that all expired in April and early May, so I don't have any Libby books. So Kindle Unlimited. I love Kindle Unlimited. Honestly, I love reading on my Kindle. Little moment of appreciation for her. So cute. So I have a ton of books that I have downloaded from Kindle Unlimited since I got my Kindle and just haven't gotten around to reading them. So that's what we're going to be doing in this little reading vlog. The first book that I'm reading is called The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I have had this book on my TBR, like downloaded on my Kindle, for probably a year to a year and a half, and just never actually started it. But I finally did. I started it this weekend. I'm on page 129, so I'm about 38% in, and I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. I'm getting that feeling of just enjoying reading, because for a while there, it was like reading kind of felt like a chore a little bit. And I don't know if it's because of the books that I was reading, or I just wasn't in the mood and was trying to force myself. I don't know. But like, I am thinking about this book all the time when I'm not reading it. Like, I was thinking about it at work today. All I could think of was like, I'm so excited to get home and read. Like, instead of getting on my phone while I'm waiting for something, if I'm at home, I'm grabbing my Kindle to see if I can read a few more pages of this book. Like, I'm really enjoying it. So The Bridge Kingdom is about, there's this girl who is a princess, and she's been like training her whole life to be a spy for the neighboring kingdom. So the Bridge Kingdom, they like control all trade and commerce, and like in order for the surrounding kingdoms to trade, they have to go through the Bridge Kingdom. And the Bridge Kingdom has like incredibly high tolls and tariffs, and they control the flow of trade and everything. So where is she from? Is she from Maradrina? Is that what it's called? Maradrina? I don't know. But the kingdom that she's in, like I said, she's been training her whole life to eventually marry the king of Ithacana, that's the Bridge Kingdom, and basically take them down from the inside. So where I'm at now, she is in the kingdom, kind of trying to figure out what she can learn. They're like a kingdom full of secrets, and she's playing like the double agent. Can't let anyone find out that she's a spy. Like, super high stakes. I'm loving it. Like, every time that something happens, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Like, I really don't know. I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. I think it's a duology. Maybe is it a trilogy? I don't actually know. How do I figure that out? Aha! Oh my gosh. Okay, so, oh my gosh. There's 5 books out now. The 5th one just came out in April, and there's going to be a 6th. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. That's exciting. I did not realize what I was getting myself into with this book, but I am ready. Like I said, I'm loving it. I'm positive, almost positive it's not young adult. I don't even know if it's fantasy. Is it fantasy? There's no magic. I'm not very good at this. What does Goodreads say it is? Okay, fantasy, romance. Yeah, not young adult, it's new adult. I could tell from the first chapter, this is not young adult. Okay, I do have to say that while I'm thoroughly enjoying this book, there has been some like weird things. It's almost as if like there was more written, but the author had to cut some out because it was too long. And so now it feels like there's things missing. Like, for example, the main character, what's her name? Laura? Is her name Laura? Yes. Laura, you know, she arrives at the new kingdom and marries the king of Ithacana. And within days, everyone's like joking around with her, and like, not even within days, like within literally one day, everyone, like, it just feels like they know each other a lot more than they should. And I feel like we missed out on some of that, like, getting to know you vibe. I don't know. I mean, it's not, like, I feel like I'm being very nitpicky. It's not a big deal. But there have just been some comments made where I'm like, why do you know that about her? Like, you don't know her like that yet. You know what I mean? But I do feel like we are getting to know the characters pretty well, which I do appreciate. And there's a lot of really like fun banter going back and forth, not just between the two main characters, but like with side characters too. Like, I'm really growing quite fond of some of the side characters, which I love it when an author can make me care about the side characters. Like, they're just all so interesting and fun, and it's not like it feels very well developed. All the characters feel very well developed. It's not just like, oh yeah, these are the two main characters and that's it. So, and it's like we're slowly uncovering more and more to the plot, to where I'm not even sure like I don't know where we're going with this. Like I said, like I zero predictions. I mean, it's enemies to lovers, so like, obviously. I am now 62% of the way through this book. It is so good. I can't remember what was happening the last time I updated you, but like it has absolutely ramped up. Like, it is so fast paced and so easy to read. I actually am really appreciating the writing style. Like, I know I said that like certain things felt like they weren't actually developed. It was just like rushed, I guess. But now that I'm into the book, like, yes, I still have an issue with that in the beginning, but I'm almost glad that we kind of speed ran that portion, because now we're able to get into like the meat of things, and I really, really appreciate how fast paced everything is, because we're spanning quite a bit of time in this story, and so it definitely would feel either like a drag if we actually saw all of that time, or it would be unrealistic for all of this stuff to happen only in like, you know, a week or two. And the tension is so high. Like, I am sweating reading this book, and not just because it's May in Texas, even though it's so freaking hot today, but like the plot is like, I fully know where we're going now because I'm over halfway through the book. I would hope so. But like, I know what's about to happen, and like things are just, it's all building. It's building, and I am so nervous for what's gonna happen. I'm so, oh my gosh. And every time that something does happen, like every scene is important, and I really appreciate that. Like, everything is important. Nothing feels like it's just filler or all of that stuff. Like, it's all intentional, and I like that a lot. Like, I have a prediction for one specific thing, and I really, really, really hope I'm wrong, because it would be absolutely devastating if I'm right, and I don't want that to happen. Not because it would be like cliche or anything, I'm just nervous because already I should not be this stressed out over a book, but it is that good. Like I said, I'm stressed. And I keep thinking to myself, if it was me, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I love reading like spy, double agent stuff, like reading about people doing that, but I could never. And I fully acknowledge that. I'm never gonna be her. I just got home from work, literally like less than 5 minutes ago. I have been thinking about this book all day, like to the point where I was showing a movie in my class. I'm a teacher, by the way, and I was showing a movie, and I was just sitting there like, I wish I brought my Kindle so I could be reading right now. But I made it to 84% last night, and the thing that I knew was gonna happen ended up happening, and I was so stressed I just had to stop reading. Like, I was literally like screaming, yelling, groaning. It was bad. My husband was very worried for my sanity, but I'm so stressed. Like, to the point where I almost don't even want to keep reading, because I am so nervous for how this is gonna wrap up, because it has to get bad before it can get good. You know what I mean? Like, everything has to go wrong before we can have a resolution. And now that I know that there's like 6 books in this series, I'm beginning to think that this is not gonna have a happy ending. I'm actually pretty sure. We're at 84%, and crap just hit the fan. So I think this is gonna end on a very nasty cliffhanger. Okay, I'm gonna knock out the rest of this and let you guys know my final thoughts. But wow, this book is so much better than I thought it was gonna be. I cannot believe I've put it off for like 2 years. That's kind of frustrating, but honestly, I'm not that mad about it, because I feel like I picked this book up at the perfect time. Like, this was exactly the book that I needed right now. So I'm very glad that I decided on this one. Made myself a coffee. Probably wasn't a very good decision, considering the fact that it is 5 p.m. on a Thursday, and I do have work tomorrow. But I just really wanted one. I just really wanted something sweet, so I made a coffee. Anyway, let's finish this. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh, I'm stressed. I just finished. Oh my gosh. I just finished. What was this? The Bridge Kingdom. Wow. 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 Oh my gosh. Ugh. I'm so pleased with everything about this book. It was so good to the point where I really do just want to dive into book 2 because obviously ended on a huge cliffhanger and I am just, I'm still reeling. It happened so fast. Everything happened so fast. This book is so good. Honestly, probably like 4 stars. It was so good. I am going to be thinking about this book for a while, I think. However, for the sake of the video, I think I'm going to go into a different book, but I definitely plan on continuing the series. I was looking at Kindle Unlimited earlier today just to see what I might read next, and I did not realize that The Conditions of Will is on Kindle Unlimited. I've seen so much about The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. I have not read anything by her, and I actually honestly don't even know what The Conditions of Will is even about, but it is my book club's pick for May, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. So I think I'm going to read this. I know it is a standalone, that I do know. Like, it's just one book, and I don't think it's fantasy or even romance. I should, like, really know what I'm talking about. Okay, it is romance. So fiction, romance, whatever. I think that'll be a nice break from the fantasy that I just read, even though I definitely want to go into that series right now. I'm going to take a break from it, read The Conditions of Will, and then we'll see where I'm at after that one. Okay, I just started, what is this? The Conditions of Will. And I'm, like I said, 5% in. And the main character, Georgia, has to go back home. And it's like clear that she does not want to go back home. She has no interest in being at home. But she has to be at home on Friday for a funeral. So she flies in on Monday. Why would you not just fly in on Thursday? You know, like, if you don't want to be there. It's not a big deal, but I just thought that was weird. Like, that's a lot of time to be somewhere you don't want to be. Anyway. I am now 13% of the way through Conditions of Will, and I am liking it. The writing style is definitely interesting. Very wordy. It's first person, which I tend to not love, but it's fine. And just very, very long sentences that seem very natural, though. Like when we're talking, we don't talk in actual sentences most of the time. We talk in like run-ons, or like we think in run-ons, and it feels like that's what she's doing. Like, she's mimicking real thought very well. So I don't hate it. It's just taking a little bit of getting used to. We're getting to know the characters. Like, I'm still in the build-up, obviously. We're getting to know the very dysfunctional family, kind of getting to know more about their backstory. And the main character, Georgia, she is like a behavioral an analyst or something, I don't know, but basically she reads people, like their facial expressions and their body language, and she can tell like when they're lying or like how they're feeling, like what emotions they're feeling. So that's very cool. It reminds me of the show Lie to Me, which I loved. But I will say, this is not related to the book, but my husband bought me a Kindle page turner for Christmas, and I lost the remote for it. And that's so annoying, because when I first got it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so like it's almost pathetic that I need a page turner and I can't just do it myself. But then once I started using it, I realized how much I loved it. And now that I don't have it anymore, it's like a chore to turn the page myself, which is so dramatic, I know. But I just thought about that because I would really love to have it right now that I'm reading in bed. I'm now 15% of the way through Assistant to the Villain. It is so silly. Like, it is so comedic, and I'm really eating it up. So basically, our main character, Evie, is looking for a job. She just can't find a job, down on her luck, whatever. And she kind of just runs into the villain on accident, and he just kind of offers her a job, and now she works for him. Like, it's... The way that it's written is so hilarious. Like, it's very, not necessarily satirical, but it is just very dry, very silly, very funny. Like, it's a lot of sarcastic humor and just a lot of silliness. Like, the way that she's able to talk about all the things that the villain is doing and just talks about it as if it's normal, and like she knows that she should be scared or she should be intimidated or she should feel bad about something, but she just doesn't. And it's just really funny. So I am looking forward to figuring out what like the main plot of this one is. We're still like building up to it, but so far it's a super fast read. Again, I'm not sure if it's, let me just pull up Goodreads actually and see if this is classified as young adult. There's a lot of language, so I don't think it would be young adult. Let's see though. Okay, yeah, it is adult. That's what I thought. So yeah, not young adult, but it's almost written that way. Like, in a good way, though. Like, it's just very easy to follow. Like I said, the writing is very silly. Just updated you guys like just a few minutes ago, but I've read another chapter or two. I don't know, I'm at 17% now. I was at 15, now I'm at 17, so like nothing has developed. But we did get the villain's point of view, which up until this point it's only been Evie, so I totally was not expecting to get the villain's point of view, but I love that we do. And y'all, I cannot even put into words how this writing is making me feel. Like, there are so many authors and so many books that try to make their writing this funny, and it just doesn't work. Especially with me, I feel like I'm so critical of writing that is trying to be funny, because I'm just like, it's very easy for it to come across as like cringy or like, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me a lot of times. But this is working. It is so funny, and like in a disarming way, and you're starting to see the very like, I mean, it happens from as soon as they meet, but you're starting to see like the little sprinkles of their like attraction for each other, and they're both like dead set on not acknowledging it. It's never gonna happen. It's, you know, and it's just so funny from both sides to see how they are like perceiving each other and how they perceive themselves and the way they present themselves. Like, I am actually really loving this one. I will say that I think it's cheesy, but I'm eating it up. Like, it's the right kind of cheesy and the right amount of cheesy, and I'm just loving it. It's just, I'm just really liking it, and it's third person, which I like. So I think that's part of it. I think the fact that it is third person makes it easier to write the way that it is written, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, I feel like I already just don't love first person, and I feel like when it's first person and they're trying to be funny is when I really like get turned off by it. But this is third person, so the way that the author is able to write about what the characters are thinking is what makes it so funny, I think. Okay, I just finished, not just, a little while ago, I finished Assistant to the Villain. I thought, and I'm pretty sure I said with confidence, that it was a YA book. It's not. It is not marketed as young adult. It is marketed fully adult, which doesn't make any sense to me. The only adult part about it is the fact that they're both, like the two main characters are in their 20s. Other than that, YA. It is giving YA so hard. Like the character development, the plot, the writing, all very YA. And so I think because I went into it thinking it was YA and I just like leaned into that, it was fine for me. But I was looking at the reviews after I finished it, and a lot of people really did not like this book. I liked it. Honestly, I had a good time reading it. I think the last thing that I actually don't remember the last thing I talked about. It's been a few days, I'll be honest. But I think I was mentioning how funny the like dialogue and the writing was, like the narration, it was all very funny. And I stand by that. Like to the end, I thought it was pretty funny in kind of like a cringy way though. So I will say, you really have to lean into the cringe in order for this one, in order to enjoy this one. And I did. Most of the time I don't. So I don't know what it was about this book that I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's just go for it. But I really did like it. I ended up giving it, I think 3.5 stars. Yeah, so I ended up giving this one 3.5 stars because I did like it and I would recommend it to people, but I would recommend it like with the disclaimer of like, just pretend it's young adult. It's silly. The plot is absolutely crazy. There's no character development whatsoever. And it's cringy at times. The plot wasn't developed enough for the plot twist to really hit home, but I was entertained. So I'll probably continue the series. Rude, first of all, rude that you would make the first book in a series Kindle Unlimited and the rest of the series isn't. What the heck? So I'm debating how I'm going to finish the series. Let us review all of the books that I read in today's video. We began with The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I gave The Bridge Kingdom 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. The tensions were high. The world building was simple and immersive, and I loved it. The characters, while we didn't get like as deep into the characters as I wanted, I think that I have a pretty good understanding of the characters thus far, and I think that we will have the ability to dive into them more in the rest of the series, and I'm very excited to see how the rest of the series ends. This book, I don't want to say it ended on a plot twist, but it was a cliffhanger. That's the word I'm looking for. It ended on a major cliffhanger, and it didn't go exactly the way I thought it was gonna go. Like, I pretty much was right, but there were a few things that really surprised me. So I am very excited to continue this series. Then I read The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Somehow, I don't know how I did this, somehow every clip that I have of me reading and talking about this book, I filmed in slow-mo. That's on me, you guys. Okay, I'm still learning how to work this camera. I don't know how I did that. But I will say that I wanted to like this book a lot more than I actually did. I found it to be, I think this is a case of a fine book, just not for me. I am not someone who, I love reality TV just as much as the next person. I love watching drama and toxicity from afar, but I felt like this just took it a step too far. It is a very, very toxic family dynamic. So definitely check trigger warnings before you read this. I didn't, and I think that's part of the reason why I was so thrown off by it all. And I feel like some things that happened in the book were just a little too, I don't want to say close to home for me, but they did kind of jump out at me in a negative way due to some personal experiences of mine. So I think that also, like I said, the book was fine. I enjoyed parts of it. But overall, I'm not gonna recommend this book to anyone because I didn't like it that much, but I get why people like it. And I guess if I know you well enough to recommend it, or if you know that you can handle this type of book, and like if you liked her other series, Magnolia Parks, I haven't read that series, but I've heard kind of about it. And I think that this is the same level of like, it's toxic, you know, like go into it with that mindset. So if you are someone who could do that, I think you would enjoy this book. If you liked this book and you really liked the psychological aspect of it, like how she was able to read people's facial expressions and stuff, then I think you should check out the show Lie to Me. It's kind of old, but the main character, like it's all about this guy who does the same thing. He can read people's facial expressions and body language and tell if they're lying or not, and it's kind of like a crime show. So really cool. I did like that aspect of this book, but just so many things about so many different characters and so many plots were so annoying to me and just like made me so upset that I couldn't do it. I know I talked about this in one of the clips that didn't get used, but we know that she can like read people really well, and while that's very interesting, I just got so frustrated with her for constantly like crossing lines with people and crossing boundaries by reading things on their face that they didn't want to share or didn't feel comfortable sharing, and she would just push and push and push until they admitted it. And that's just not fair. That's like absolutely taking advantage of someone, and I just didn't like it. Now there were some people where I was like, yeah, read them for filth, like absolutely tear them apart. But it was like she would do it to her brother who she loved and the love interest. She did it to them too, and I was like, you can't do that to people. Like, I don't know. It just really, really frustrated me. And like I said, the book was fine, not for me. Okay, I think on Goodreads, I actually gave it 2.5 stars. Because again, it wasn't bad per se. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. So I gave it 2.5 because that's right dead in the middle. I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it. And then I did already talk about Assistant to the Villain. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was a good time. Not the best book I've read, but it was very different than most books I've read, so I think that's why I liked it so much. That is all the books that I'm going to be reading for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if anything that I've said has like kind of sparked your interest. If you have any questions, I would love to talk to you guys in the comments. It would really mean a lot to me if you liked this video, if you did, and make sure that you are subscribed so that I can see you in the next one. Mwah! Bye!